Hi guys, well, we've had enough time to make a fourth vlog here back in the United Kingdom, and we've managed to find an opportunity to come to the Great Central Railway. And even after all these years, this is actually the first time I've ever experienced it. Now, the history of this place is a little bit complicated. I had a look at the website, but so there's so many dates and names and terms in there, I kind of feel a bit dizzy. So my hope is that a little later we're going to corner one of the volunteers, and maybe they can give us a little rundown of the history and some of the special features. What I can tell you is there are 4 stops on there on the Great Central Railway that are still, I mean, they're not really in proper passenger services, but they're here for like people just wanting to experience a traditional British steam train, right? They also have, I believe, a diesel train as well, one of the old style ones. But what I want to do, I want to try the most traditional one there is. So we've timed it so that we can take the 12:09 departure from Quorn and Woodhouse. Why Quorn? Well, it's mostly just to do with the parking. We've got this big car park over there, haven't we? But my understanding is that if you start at Leicester North or Loughborough, parking is a bit of a headache, isn't it? Yeah, and it's quite cool that we can stand here right on the tracks. How fast would you say they are?
I don't think we're going to get up to 60 or 70.
Okay, so it's not like we're going to be run down by a runaway steam train or anything here, so it's pretty safe. The times between the stations isn't that long because, you know, Loughborough to Leicester is pretty short a distance, isn't it? And I think it's only about 10 minutes, a 10-minute ride between each of the stations. Yeah, sometimes not even that. And I think this place closed down in about 1969 or so, I believe. But back in the day when like real passenger services used to operate from here, I mean, I think this is how people would have bought tickets. Of course, maybe not by card. And in this little corner here, we've got the station tea room. And again, you know, it seems very well preserved. It probably was like this, yeah, back in the 50s and 60s. So let's go inside and check it out. And this place is called Wills's Woodbines.
Behind them, then I have Jerry integrating lorries, and behind them again, the large American family.
I can just, stepping inside this station tea house is like stepping back in time. And I really love these old features. You know, just the bricks, like the colour of the paint. You know, we've got the fireplace over here. These old style clocks, and even like some of these, you know, helmets that some of the station masters would have worn. That's something I have to get used to being back in England as well. You know, most of the doors in China, they're cushioned, but you know, a lot of these old doors in England, there's nothing stopping them. So I've had that once or twice here. They close the door. You think you're closing it gently, but then it just slams shut. Over here, we have a general waiting room. So we can put our head around the door and see what they have for us. Here we go. And here we go. Okay, so the room isn't particularly big, but it's cozy. We've got these very long benches. So even though there isn't a lot of space, I'm sure a lot of people could actually squeeze into here. I can imagine on a very cold winter's day, they would have the fire burning here. Of one of those old-fashioned radios. And then over on the wall here, we have a map of the London North and Eastern Railway. You know, like the smells in here, you know, just like the old, you know, furnishings. You know, even like the old windows, like the thin glass. I don't want to knock that too hard. We've even got these old-fashioned light switches, and they still work. Of course, with, you know, modern light fittings. This train is always how I envisaged the old-fashioned steam trains in England. And even a little bit, you know, how they are portrayed on Harry Potter, I suppose. Yeah, you can also get, you know, classic style afternoon tea here. I mean, just look at this menu. Wow, just look at this. This is so plush. We haven't made a reservation for afternoon tea, but nevertheless, we can still come through and we can take a seat in this carriage here. Maybe just something quite traditional, if they have any kind of nice teas or anything on offer. But they have a very nice selection here, and we're already moving. So I think we can. I really like the old-fashioned train journeys, even when I'm in China. I mean, the high-speed rail over there is amazing, and I take that all the time. But you know, there's still like a place in my heart for the old-fashioned green trains. And even last summer, when I did a trip to Hainan, instead of going on the airplane, we took one of those slow, old-fashioned green trains, like the sleeper carriages, all the way down to Zhanjiang. Right, so the train, I think, is already pulling into our next station. Is this Rothley, do you think? Can't go too far wrong with this, really. So I've just gone for a classic milky English tea. Oh, that's a bit hot.
Yeah, mine is too.
I'd be careful of that.
And scones.
Yeah, and scones. And, you know, this is another like English classic. Those scones and cream, strawberry jam. Yeah, you can't go too far wrong with that.
English joke. Fastest snack in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Scotland.
Yes. Yeah, so we're going to give this a try. Yeah, perfect. You know, very soft. You know, not too sweet. Yeah, just perfect. I can't remember exactly the first time I ever took a train. I think it would have been very young, but I remember at that time it was still British Rail. Yeah, so all of the trains kind of had the same rough design, didn't they? But then, was it kind of in the 1990s, it was kind of privatised again? Yeah, and then all of these different tracks were taken over by all these different companies, and that's kind of made things a little complicated, hasn't it? I mean, I suppose when it was all nationalised, you know, there was like standardised pricing, but for a lot of these routes now, you can find all of these like different, you know, ticket prices, you know, depending on the times, the exact route, you know, the train company in question. Well, it seems like no time at all. I think it's only 20 minutes or so since we left Quorn, and we're already at the final station, Leicester North. But it's not really the final station for us, because the car is, of course, parked up at Quorn. So in a little while, the train is going to head back towards Loughborough. We'll get off at Quorn, and then we'll drive back home from there. Then we have to open it this way. You have to like stick your hand out of the door, and there's like a little... Yeah, we did it. Yeah, and as you can see, this is Leicester North for Belgrave and Bristol. Yeah, and you can see the steam coming out of the engine over there.
You're allowed to go on foot, we're pulling forward on the foot.
We'd have to go on there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're going to move forward first.
Well, we're a heritage railway, but the original railway, the Great Southern Railway, was opened in 1899. And it closed in 1966, and then we formed a heritage railway. This actual line went from Sheffield in the north right through to London originally. We've now got 8 miles of railway we actually use here, and we use steam and diesel railways, and we try to give people a heritage experience of how it used to be. We're actually trying to extend the railway north through up the other side. That'll give us an 18-mile run if we can actually do that. That's
okay,
what
when do you think you'll be able to do that?
Well, it all depends on the money coming in, 'cause it's all basically on donations, and it's costing millions of pounds. So we've been doing it about 10 years now. We've got about, it's going to be done in 7 phases. We've got 3 phases completed, but it's as quick as the money comes in. So if we get more money coming in, the quicker it'll be done.
Right, and over the past 10 years, what have passenger numbers been like?
Well, they have certainly increased, as they need to, as people get to know we're here. That's the thing, people, we still get people, though we've been here 50 years, people still come along and say, oh, I didn't know you were live. I only lived 2 miles ago, but I didn't know you were here. So we try to get the message around. Well, I'm Deputy Station Master. My colleague here, he's a porter at the moment, and we've got a booking clerk, we've got my wife works in the buffet, and we've got all the platform inspector and several other porters. That's where we are today. Yeah.
No, I could just see the head of the train has decoupled. Is the plan to like kind of move it to the front of
it
the
will.
train?
It's going to be there about 10 minutes.
So you have a chance to...
You have a chance to go on the footplate, have a look at the footplate, and then around about 1:45 or so, he'll run down on the other track, and as you say, then he'll back into and take the train back north to Loughborough.
Okay, I'll try and catch it.
Yeah, indeed. Okay.
Biggest other turn. Going to try not to fall down. Good morning, sir. Wow, I mean, if you have a few seconds there, could you introduce some of these controls for me?
Well, that's the regulator, makes us go.
Regulator?
That's the regulator, that makes us go. Steam out the boiler down to the cylinders. This is the reversing gear, that makes us go forward and backwards. So we change that if we want to go forward or backwards. This is the steam brake, which stops us. And this is the vacuum brake, which stops the whole train. Works all the coaches as well. That's the main steam pressure gauge, vacuum gauge for the brake, speedometer. That's the main boiler pressure, 230 pounds per square inch at the moment, and that's the pressure of the steam heating. And these controls here, they're the injectors that take the water from the tender, put it into the boiler. And obviously that's the fire.
Yeah.
And the fire hole, that's fed by the fireman with the coals behind you, and he feeds it into there.
So he has to take the shovel from
He has
here
a shovel,
and then actually physically throw it into this furnace here?
Physically shove it in there, yes.
Wow,
He does.
And how much of this coal will you typically use? on a
Probably
single
a ton and a half today, I would think.
1.5 tons?
Ton and a half, I would say, roughly. It's something that you can't determine exactly. Depends on lots of different things, but yeah, approximately a ton and a half, I'd say.
Hey, money. Yeah.
Oh, here we go again. Okay, well,
Yeah. How long have you been driving trains?
27 years here, this one.
27 years?
Yeah, but I've been here 40 years altogether.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a job you can never get bored of.
No, never.
Yeah,
We do it for free, we're volunteers. We do it because we love it.
yeah, I would too as well.
Yeah.
I've had a fantastic day out here. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, brilliant. And we can see this is literally the end of the line. Okay, I've run all the way down to the opposite end of the platform, and I can see the steam engine is now reversing. They're going to couple it with the carriages. My plan is once they've coupled the trains, I'm going to get in this carriage here, and I'm going to walk all the way through, and that way you can see what the interior is like in each of the carriages all the way up. Do you love that sound? And here, I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to turn the camera around and you can just see what these vintage carriages are like on the inside. Well, I think that more or less brings the experience to an end. I think I'm just going to show you some pictures outside on the way back to Quorn, and then I think we can say goodbye on the station side there. The trains only stop for like 2 or 3 minutes at each of the platforms. So you have to remember, if you want to really get out of the train, go and sit on the footplate, have a chat with some of the station masters and volunteers, then I would suggest you get there in advance, maybe either at Loughborough or Leicester North. So at this point, I just want to thank you again for watching. I think this is likely to be my final vlog in England on this trip. I think now that you know what has finished and you have those direct flights between England and Chongqing, I think I'll be able to come here a bit more often in the future. It's been a really fantastic experience and I hope you've really been interested in what I've brought you here. Okay, so now this train is heading off to the final station of Loughborough. I'm going to be back in Chongqing on Thursday, and fingers crossed in the very near future I'm going to do another proper climb over there and show you some more fantastic, heritage, scenery, outdoor pursuits over there. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you like what you've seen, and I will see you again next time in China.